First video of 2014. Talk about a crummy winter. Man! Crummy roads. Not riding the V-Strom today. Got the 50/50 tires on the KLX250S 08. Wanted to ride that some this year. Actually, I've taken it out. This isn't the first ride of 2014, first video ride of 2014. I wanted to ride this some and maybe take it to work. So this is, I don't know, maybe my third ride of the year. Haven't been out much. But I wanted to do a quick review of KLX250S. '08. I think it has about 10,000 miles on it. Most of it off-road. I did take it on a trip from Pennsylvania down to Tail the Dragon in North Carolina when I first got it. That ended up being a little painful on the rear end. My tip is don't ride this bike for a week-long trip without some major seat enhancements. Other than that, it was okay. It's not a highway bike. Back roads 55 is fine, and it'll do 65 all right. But I tried hopping on 81, and if you know 81, this isn't the bike for it. A lot of 81 is 70 mile an hour speed limit, and I got off as quick as I could because that was not a safe feeling place on this bike. The new Honda 250 came out recently. I've been reading a lot of reviews on that. They've been doing, read a couple of shootouts on the Honda 250 versus the KLX versus the maybe the XT250 Yamaha. And they really like the Honda, I think mostly because it's cheaper than everybody else. And they say it's the best do-it-all bike, although it's a lot. It's 30 or 30 pounds or more heavier than this bike. So, I mean, for off-road, I'm not seeing that. Especially where I ride in the sand. All in all, I'm happy with this bike. It's been good off-road. It's not a hardcore dirt bike. A pure dirt bike or a plated, you know, 450 or 250, you'll eat this thing up off-road. This is a heavy 250. It's a little bit over 300 pounds wet. So for a 250, it's pretty heavy, but I mean, I'm happy with the way it performs. It does great off-road at a, you know, more relaxed pace. It's fun on-road. It's not, you know, very powerful. You got to wind it out, but you know, keeping that in mind, if you wind it out, it's a fun bike, and on the right kinds of roads, it'll keep up with much bigger bikes. Tight, twisty roads, maybe with some potholes and gravel on them. But it's certainly much more relaxing to ride in traffic than a bigger, faster bike. Just because the bigger, faster bikes are always so, you know, you always feel like you're going so slow and you have so much more left. One gripe with it I have is, and it's an easy fix, it's just something I've never done, is the carburation on this thing is awful from the factory. It is so lean that you have to warm it up for like 10 minutes before you can ride it. Not at all exaggerating. And if I don't run the carbs dry when I'm done riding, and it sits for any great length of time, it will not start. I've flattened the battery, ran the battery out more than once before I learned that lesson. I actually have to shut off the petcock, let the carb run dry, and then it starts fine. You just have to remember to do that all the time. And I guess that has something to do with emissions, I'm not sure, but man, is it lean. Easy enough fix. The exhaust on this thing is pretty comical. It looks like it came off of a lawnmower, it's so little. And again, another not so hard fix. I'm just not much into doing major mods to bikes as far as exhaust and carburation and that kind of thing. You know what, I really need gas. I don't know. Light changed. And I mean, the suspension I think is fine for the kind of riding I did. Like I said, not race pace, off race pace, below race pace, a more relaxed route, very comfortable, much more comfortable than a dirt bike. If you're more into, you know, you can ride it fast, but you can't ride it as fast as a dirt bike off-road. On the street, it's good. As a dual purpose, it's good. The weight is so much better than this KLX250 I tried to learn to off-road on. Gas mileage is great. When I took the tail of the Dragon ride, I put a small windshield on there. I was getting 70 miles to the gallon. Easy. Maybe a little bit more than 70 miles to the gallon. You know, on a street ride with a windshield. I threw a duffel bag on the back. I mean, all in all, I'm very happy with the bike. It is an 08. It is pretty beat up. I mean, I am not a good off-roader, so I beat this thing pretty bad, and I've crashed a couple times, and it just keeps plugging along. Never broke down, never left me stranded. I think it's very hard to beat. Again, the only real complaint is the carburation on it was so bad. Seat's not, you know, multi-day comfortable, but I don't think you can really expect that out of a 250 dual sport. Speed is fine. Don't think if there's anything I forget. All in all, I'm happy with it. You know, maybe a little more power. Fuel injection would have been nice. But back when I bought this, the Yamaha 250, I can't think of what it is right now, was carbureted, but it was like $1,000, $1,500 more, and I didn't really think that was worth it. So, I mean, I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. Fun bike to ride on the street. Fast enough if you're not riding with people on thousands, you know, doing a real high-speed back road ride. I did end up changing out the bars to make them a little taller so I could stand on the pegs. I'm 5'11". The bars were too short. I know they complain about that, but again, another easy fix just to swap out the bars. Stock mirrors, they don't last crashing in the sand, so that's expected. I have had to replace the turn signals a couple times. They haven't held up to off-roading and crashing. Brakes are fine. I mean, they're not street bike, you know, twin caliper, twin rotor front, strong like a street bike. I mean, a single rotor in the front, single rotor in the back. Very sufficient for what it is. Happy with the suspension. Never had any trouble with that. Again, I'm not a James Stewart off-roading or anything. Oil change is easy. Accessories are easy to get. I did get a luggage rack and put it on the back and use that on my longer trip. And there was a small crack did develop in the subframe where the bolt goes through the luggage rack. So I stopped using that luggage rack. It wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't the subframe cracking. It was just a little bracket where it screwed into. So I took that off and stopped using that. I probably could have kept using it. It would have been fine. I never had any problem with the subframe being weak or anything like that. So yeah, got a clock, dual trip meters, fancy LED instrument cluster isn't a big deal for me. But I'm very happy with the bike. So I'm going to try street riding it some this year. And taking it to work and enjoying its fun little nimble ability and it's like they always say, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. So I'll switch it up a little this year and ride this some and maybe do some more videos. Oh, there's where I'm meeting somebody, but really early, so I'm going to go look for a gas station.